others. Because I was a public figure here in this city of about 20,000 people, I had an opportunity to speak publicly and to write, and so my basic belief was that all people are made in the image of God, that all people have the right to get out of life and put into life what God intended. And I would make statements like this publicly, and there were those who opposed this because they had what we called then, there was an author by the name of Silver who called Mississippi a closed society. It's a pretty closed society. And so I'd make these statements, and then I would get threats, you know, through the mail, and I would had to call in the FBI, and they had to come by and interview me to find out where my children went back and forth to school in case something happened. They were kidnapped or in some sort of a hazardous situation, dangerous situation. Those are some of the things. A lot more happened, but I survived, and attitudes have. I remember when I was a young teenager, I'd been playing basketball with a black whose name was, we called him Red, and we played basketball together. And Red, unbeknownst to me, Red got on the Greyhound bus, and I was going somewhere, and I got on the bus and saw Red seated in the back, and I went back there and sat with him. And I was talking with him. We were talking about basketball and other things that we knew about and mutually shared. And the bus driver came back and he said, you're going to, talking to me, he said, you're going to have to move. You can't sit back here with these people. And it just disturbed me because this was my friend, and we'd been talking, and there was no reason for me to move some other place, but I did. But this was the first time that I saw and experienced racial equality. Not know, but the Oxford crisis, where the University of Mississippi is, occurred in 1962, October the 20th, actually September the 29th. And there was just a lot of hubbub about what was going on. The federal government was forcing the university to admit a black, etc. And we had people here, radicals here, 2 or 3 that I know about, who went to Oxford with their guns and so forth. I don't know that I have encountered anything that is real recent. You can pick up, you know, rudeness here and there, but that can be black on white, black on black. By the way, when we lived in New Orleans, there was a mayoral race, and in this mayoral race, there was a dark black and a light black. And the editorials would come out, and they would talk about the discrimination of the light mayoral candidate against the black mayoral candidate. And it was a big issue. Here we have racial issue. It's light black on dark black, but still a racial issue. I think it's in the process of succeeding. Obviously, we've got a president who is black, and we have other indicators of blacks in business and all across the social spectrum. And so, yes, it has been successful, but it's in the process, and it'll be with us. Every generation will have to determine whether or not they're going to allow prejudice to rule or allow just openness to rule. As I've said, I lived in Singapore, I lived in Africa, and I went to school in Europe, been all over the world, and there is discrimination all over the world. And we're talking about prejudice, and prejudice is something that we all have to face, whether in Oregon or Mississippi or Alabama or New York.